Hello, welcome to Omnibroslive on a Wednesday. We welcome you with open arms to our suggestions on how to collect your favorite thing in the world, and that's comic books in collected edition form. I'm OmniDog, and I am joined, as always, by Gabe Loves 90s Comics and Super Lou.
Hey, howdy.
What up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in, all you crazy maniacs collecting stuff that you shouldn't be collecting.
Collecting tips keep the hobby fun. But your first tip got censored. We didn't censor it, Cycle.
Oh, we wouldn't do that. Come on.
Maybe, your
There must
first
have been a YouTube thing.
there. What
happened to
it? Maybe YouTube censored it. What was it?
Cycle, repost it. Now you're not bothering me. I personally like Dr. Elevators. Find the writer you hate the most and buy all his stuff. That way you can be up to date in your hate.
I gotta find that GIF from Dave Chappelle, the haters ball. It's just like hate. I don't even know you and I hate you.
Those first 2-3 seasons of the Chappelle Show, every episode had a hit. And
you mean the entire show, Lou?
Yeah.
The entire show lasted like 2.5 seasons.
Was it 2.5 seasons? I thought.
Yeah, if that.
I thought it made it to 4.
Oh,
I thought it fell off at 4 when he was like, "Yeah, I'm done." No, he finished at 3, right?
I think it was 2, and then I think the third season was maybe like a couple episodes.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But right out the gate, like my wife and I rewatched it not too long ago. Like I think like the first episode had the black white supremacist. Like it was.
Oh my god!
Immediately, brilliant. It was just banger episodes, skits after skits.
Oh my god, man! You know who's got banger packaging, right?
That's probably a good segue.
There you go. That's a transition there for you.
Whoa, teed that up nicely. InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions from 30%, sometimes all the way up to 65% off if you go to the red tag sale. Don't forget to add your 2% loyalty discount. We just gave away a $50 gift card courtesy of IST, worth $50 worth of credit at InStockTrades.com to a lucky viewer on Monday, which we do every month, the last Monday of every month. Shout out to IST for providing us with that. $50 or more in an order in the United States. Get you free shipping. Fabulous customer service. Fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
You know.
Take a shot every time we say IST, right? Is that what somebody was doing on Monday's show?
What's that?
Somebody on Monday's show said they were taking a shot every time somebody mentioned IST.
Oh, yeah. That was Ilan.
I hope he survived.
Yeah, Alon, are you out there? Are you still alive? That'd be funny.
Your stomach pump, brother, or what?
Yeah. Oh, you need the mouth harp Cleveland Brown? Just a sec. IST.com. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Now it's complete. Yeah.
There we go. So, guys,
yeah.
I had a thought during lunch today. I didn't bring this up in the chat because I wanted to save it for the show. If you had to choose, would you rather get tased or pepper sprayed?
What? I thought you were going to say something like ice cream or
no, tased or pepper spray. If you have to choose one of the two.
What? Where? What? First of all, that's not happening to me because I am staying only in my house now that you brought that up. Jiminy crickets.
Watch out for those drive-by pepper spraying.
Yep.
I saw a video. I can't remember who sent it to me. Maybe Max sent it to me where some guy was assaulting a camera crew.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera crew guy, one of the boom guys, whipped out pepper spray and sprayed him. The guy was screaming out like a maniac for a solid 10 minutes while they got it all on tape. And he was hostile to them, and they're going to him, okay, do you want us to call 911? Are you okay? Well, it's all right, but you attacked us. And his life was over. So, but I've also heard and seen on Cops what happens when you get tased?
Whoo, you drop, man.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather get tased than pepper sprayed. I haven't been like full on in a face pepper sprayed, but I've been in a crowd where somebody set off pepper spray.
Yeah.
But I've seen like those people that get it straight in the eyes, nose, and mouth. It's a long-term effect. Like you have to like whatever it's milk or whatever it is to get that stuff out. When you're tased, I think it's more of a temporary like setback.
No, when I'm talking about tasers, I mean just the prongs. I'm not talking about because the police have upgraded their shit, man. I've seen. Have you seen the shotgun taser that's out now?
What is it?
Oh,
Shotgun taser.
It's a shotgun taser. I'm not sure if it's standard issue or not at this point. What it is, it's literally a shotgun, and the shell inside of it. So what's happened is that a lot of, if you're quick enough and if you're wise enough, the minute the prong hits, you can rip the prong out. You're gonna fuck up your skin, but you won't be shocked. So they got wise to it. So they've developed a shotgun taser. The shell inside of it has the taser part, and when it fires off, it latches onto you and it shocks the hell out of you.
Holy smoke!
Well, there's impact and you're being tased at the same time.
Wait, Shimpson's Comics says I've been hit by both, and pepper spray was way worse with lasting effects. Shimpson's, what are you up to that you've been tased and pepper sprayed?
That's a buddy of mine I know here in Vegas. I can imagine what he's been up to.
Oh, you know this guy?
Yeah, that's my boy Barney. What's up, Barn?
Barney, what are you doing that you've been tasered and pepper sprayed?
Yeah, this is the shotgun. This is the
shotgun shell.
Whoa. I want to join the police just so I can shoot somebody with that.
I don't think it's standard issue, but it's a pretty nasty thing, man.
This is the greatest video.
Look at the impact.
Are those volunteers?
Yeah.
It's probably other cops.
Yeah, so
they look like they had a donut body going.
Is it
switch this to frozen custard or just regular ice cream, or do I still have my background is criminal justice, and I've had family that are police officers and stuff like that, and have served in the military and everything. And every single one has told me the same thing, because they've had to be tased and they've had to be pepper sprayed as well. That was part of their training. They would take the taser 9 times out of 10 over being pepper sprayed almost every time. Okay, well, I'll go with the people with the most experience and say I'll take the taser, but I don't even want to put that out in the universe that I choose tasing.
The thing is with the pepper spray is that the pepper spray lasts longer and you feel like shit for a long time.
That guy was absolutely paralyzed, running around, bumping into things, couldn't see. He was in agony for 10 minutes. It was Dares with a group of drunk buds.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what you do with drunk friends. You do stupid stuff like that. That's not like a night of Four Locos and Zimas.
I was thinking more of like the nutmeg challenge or something with friends, not pepper spray.
Oh, I miss original Four Loko.
What's Four Loko?
Four Loko is an alcoholic drink. It was really popular in the, what'd you say, Gabe, mid-2000s? It was really at its peak there. The thing is, it got banned because the formula, what was it, the caffeine in it? I forgot exactly what the details.
It was whatever the ratio was of alcohol to caffeine, that the caffeine made you not feel like you were drunk, so it made you drink more and more and more.
Oh.
And people were just having a bad time. It didn't get banned? I thought they were just made to like replace the formula or something.
I thought it was banned originally, and then they came back with a different formula, and it's not the same.
Yeah. I'm sorry we can't have good things anymore.
I really have led a sheltered life. I'm learning so much.
They didn't have Four Locos, like, it's like Lou said, that was like early 2000s kind of thing. It was like the youngster party kind of drink too.
Yeah, it was.
I just made a bathtub of meth and just drink some Four Locos now.
Yeah, that was the drink for high schoolers at that time because I was in high school. I remember some that was before it was caught on by mainstream. So I would see people walking into my high school drinking it first thing in the morning. I'm like, that is a future alcoholic. All right.
Yeah, you probably.
I had a guy when I was working at Sony who came in drinking. It wasn't a Four Loko, but it was the same thing where it was an energy drink and alcohol. And they were like, "Hey, dude, you got to leave." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "Dude, you're drinking on the job. You silly person."
Jeez. Okay. Well,
now they're talking about that with Prime drink. Prime is what's his face? Paul, who's that guy that used to be like a YouTuber and now he's a boxer?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. That's his drink.
Let's slow down on the term boxer there, okay?
No, dude, he's a legit boxer. There is no doubt about that. That dude is not a joke. He just took down Nick Diaz, dude.
He can box. Now, the validity of those matches is in question, but he can box. I can't take that away from him.
Dude, he took down Nick Diaz. I don't think Nick Diaz is going to take a bye and, not give out a legit fight.
I don't know, man. For the right press, I think anybody will take a dive. But his brother Logan is actually really good in wrestling right now. When he does WWE matches, they're usually the highlight of that pay-per-view. He's really good. It's crazy how good he is, actually.
Wait, who's this?
There's two brothers. There's Logan and Jake Paul. They're insufferable. I can't stand either one of them. But both of them box. The brother Jake, he just had a match. I think it was like a month ago against a UFC fighter, a famous fighter, Nate Diaz. He did really well. Both of them did really well.
Yeah.
I can't take away from the fact that Nick
Diaz is like one of the scariest dudes in the UFC, though.
I can't take away from the fact that Jake Paul can box, but the validity of those fights has always been in question. As far as did these fighters kind of take a dive, and most of these fighters he's fought, they're kind of over the hill now and stuff like that. So that's always been the thing.
That's the same people who are like, these guys have too many subscribers on their YouTube, they must pay for it, kind of thing.
What are they, boxing or UFC fighting?
Boxing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're more exhibition matches than anything else. People pay for them. But of the two, I think Logan Paul is actually a really good wrestler in WWE. I'll give it to him. He puts on good matches.
Barney did 3 of those original Four Locos doing a softball tourney. Couldn't even get to the plate in the second game. They just put me in a corner of the dugout to sleep it off.
We've attracted a different kind of crowd tonight.
Dude, I put this stuff up on our Instagram and TikTok, so we were getting some new people in here. Like Albert loves comics. What's up, brother? You got the great TikTok and Instagram account, doing cool stuff there. So we're getting some people in. Awesome.
Right on, man.
Yeah. Okay, well, Axel's on the right track with our topic for today.
Keep the hobby manageable.
How to keep the hobby manageable. Get pepper sprayed all the time so you can't read anything. Well, do we even read this stuff in the first place? Come on.
I try, man.
We all do try. It's a thing. So we'll bring that up then real quick.
All right, let's go.
So recently, big loving shout out to Minister of Comics. Check him out on Instagram. Put up this post of collecting tips that really kind of stand out. Because these are all excellent ideas. This is almost like a Bill of Rights of collectors. No, actually, that's the opposite way around of things. But this is really a good kind of roadmap of how to kind of keep the hobby fun for yourself, how to keep it manageable, how to not overstress yourself, burn yourself out, and play the kind of keeping up with the Joneses. I have to buy something every week or every day or all the time, which is coming up a lot in the community with all the books coming out, all the reprints that we are seeing, and how that's affecting collectors' mentality. And it's not even just recent. It's always been that way in the community. And none of us here are trying to be elitist or talk down on anybody. We all suffer and do the same thing as anybody else does when it comes down to overbuying, buying more than what you can probably read, buying for the sake of buying it because somebody else hyped it up too much, things like that. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. Great tips on here from Minister of Comics. Number 1, guys, make a budget and stick to it.
Ooh, that's a tough one for a lot.
That's yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's really probably the one thing that we see a lot of is in the community, in the Facebook groups, Instagram, TikTok, social media in general, are big giant stacks of hauls that people bring in where it's like, hey, I just bought 30 books this week or this month. Number 2, don't let FOMO and hype drive your purchases.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, remember that this is a hobby and not an obligation.
Yeah.
And don't compare your collection to anybody else's. I think these are all fantastic things that we can talk about. I've fallen victim to all of that. I've overspent.
Mm-hmm.
I bought stuff just to buy it as an obligation. Where it's like, oh, every Monday we have a haul and read episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it falls into it where it's like, I need to get a book for Monday. I need to make a haul. I got to do a haul. Got to show the haul. It's haul day. Hauls. Buy. What are we going to be buying this week? So that's something that we've all fallen into. We've all fallen into FOMO. You know, like just recently, even with the Immortal Hulk Omnibus selling out super quick. A lot of FOMO coming around with even future titles like ROM, Micronauts, Phantom Stranger that just came out. A lot of that involved, and we've all fallen victim to that. Where it's like, I think this is selling out. I can't find it. It's no longer on IST. Let me look over here at this other website. Let me look over on Amazon. Let me look on eBay. Let me pay higher prices. I need it because I can't find it anymore. We've all hit that. Remember, it is a hobby, not an obligation. And don't compare your collection to anybody else's. It's all stuff that we've fallen victim to ourselves. We smell our own. We've all done it. I mean, I've built up a huge collection. I've sold it off, built it back up, sold it off. Like it's, it all comes into play. So it's not us here on any kind of pedestal, high horses, talking down to anybody, because we are going to show some posts from the Facebook groups to kind of drive the conversation about this and some examples. And that's all it really is examples. We're not here to kind of give anybody a hard time on your collecting habits. Just something that really, when it comes down to it, is how to make yourself aware that you're falling into these kind of traps. I think is what this is really, really all about.
Yeah, Phantom Stranger hasn't sold out. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, that's interesting because we all swore it was going to sell out because
I don't know that I swore that.
Well, at least I did. I'm not going to buy the book. It's a total pass for me. I have zero connection to that character. Yeah. But I thought with it being like that Spectre Omnibus or even Jonah Hex, that's such a underappreciated character that there wouldn't be a lot of orders for it. And that those small orders would get bought up really quick. But apparently that's not the case so far.
Well, it's only been one day. So, I mean, it could make, I'm not going to say it's going to sell out, but it may. I mean, even Spectre eventually sold out and became a whale. But I think the Spectre, the reason why I think Phantom Stranger has a little hype around it is because it's been solicited for 3 years.
3 years of the hype, right?
Yeah, and so there was, and really, out of the three of us, I'm the only one who would be interested in that book, and I 100% wouldn't recommend it to anybody that doesn't like anything pre-90s. The one thing I want to do is get that book that I paid for and do an overview, and so people can see it and make their own decision and talk about the quality of the stories. It's I feel like it's, I don't know who's excited about that book besides those of us who grew up with it or have an interest in Silver and Bronze Age material.
Well, that's kind of the thing is you kind of grew up with that stuff, so I would imagine you would be the target audience for that, versus a lot of people that grew up in maybe in the 90s and the 2000s and stuff like that, and have that expendable income. I can imagine them going, do I really want this, or can I hold off? There might be something else. It's not really material that I'm used to reading, and it's Phantom Stranger. Phantom Stranger hasn't been a character that's been super popular in the last few years.
What I want to address Smoke 'em if you got him. I'm trying to keep up with the Omnidog. Dude, that's like a regular drug user trying to keep up with Keith Richards. I don't do it. Don't try and keep up with me. It's a road to insanity.
It has gotten easier since 2016, though.
To keep up with me?
To keep up with you. It has gotten easier. Where in 2016, Jess, we would pull up a chair and we were like, well, we're going to be here a minute. So everybody just kind of sit back and relax.
For my hauls, yeah. They were.
It wasn't an insult. It was like, we know Jess probably has the biggest haul, and he probably is going to take for the next 40 minutes to go through it all. And we enjoyed the hell out of it. It was fun.
Oh, yeah. When I was working at Torpedo, I was ordering that stuff. So I always ordered an extra copy for myself. I was always organizing that section. Yeah. Like, it was always in my face. So, yeah. Mr. Tech's already broken rule number one.
Yeah, I have too. I think this year I've stuck more to a budget than ever before. My hauls have been smaller, and they're what I can afford. But yeah, I think I've broken rule 1 all the time.
It's hard to keep a budget. I mean, in general, not just life budget, but like collecting budgets, because there's always something out there that you don't have and you didn't realize you needed it, or that just came out, or that you've forgotten about. Like, I'm doing that myself, and I'm like, whoa, wait a second, like, I can't go buying all this stuff right now. Like, I try to make a list and stick to that list of things I want, and that's a fruitless effort. Like, that never really does it for me. But that's an idea too, is make a list of the things that you actually want and cross that stuff out. Because this isn't 2016, 2017, where these books used to disappear. Yeah. Like, there was legitimate hard times to find these books at one point. It was always a mad dash IST at 9 o'clock or whenever it was back then when they released the books.
Was it? I think it was noon, right? It was
noon your time, but
it used to be 3 p.m. It used to be 3 p.m. Eastern time, and
okay.
Noon Eastern time.
That's right. All right, there you go. Well, then, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how it was. It was a different time at one point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was always a mad dash. The message board, or the Facebook group, was just completely just beaten up every week trying to get whatever they wanted. It was a big dash for stuff at the time, because that's back when. Now with Omar, who's been really, keeping Marvel focused on things that need to be reprinted and, maybe making larger print runs of things. That wasn't the case back then. Things would legitimately sell out day one and become big whale books down the road. They would be $200 books. They'd be double, triple cover price.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to go back to that at some point, because it seems, with the advent of bots and the internet and everything like that, it seems like everything is a collecting thing. And that means everything these bots and these resellers will try to snatch up just so they can make a profit.
I mean, we got more retailers now. It used to be more or less just in-stock trades, and cheap graphic novels. But now we got Organic Price out there, and there's always more YouTube channels and stuff like that too.
Getting some good recommendations right now in the chat.
Yeah, Lionheart's rule. My one rule is buy what you like. That is the first rule. I think I agree with that.
That's an absolute help. Don't get Phantom Stranger if you don't already know that you're gonna like it.
Yeah. I think that I was buying in the early days. I was buying just to buy, and now that I've started. Like, Gabe encouraged me to curate my collection, so I'm constantly going through it to cull stuff out.
Yep.
And
I mean, I sell stuff to buy more stuff a lot of times.
same.
You know?
Yeah, same.
You know, buy comics with comics.
That's a good one. That's definitely a good one.
If it's been sitting on my shelf for like a year, still wrapped, I'm like, all right, well then forget it. Let's turn that into something I want.
Oh, I don't know about that for me.
It's like going in your closet and you're like, when's the last time I wore this shirt?
Oh, well, we did go through that. I have about
this is Polk High 1967 on it.
Yeah, moving will help you cull your clothing collection. That's for sure.
And your collection in general. Like when I don't know how it was when you moved, Jess, but every time I moved, I'd be like, this stuff sucks.
I think just the exact words were, after this last move, I'm dying in this house because I'm never moving this stuff again.
My next home is the funeral home. It's not happening. I just can't do it again.
There was a lot of regret during those moving days.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was questioning my existence and what my brain was thinking. Yeah, 100%. Can't read everything, should also be acknowledged. That's a good point. This is what I'm guilty of. My figure has been 20% of my collection has been read. No matter how much I read, I think it's always staying at like 20%. And I can't help myself but still buy stuff. Like, whatever. I'm like, now I want to catch up. First of all, I want to catch up on all the X-Men I need to catch up on. And I want to catch up on all the Batman I want to catch up on. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. Plus, I have to do videos for all those free books, all those publishers are sending me that I get. Since I'm on their
That was the thing too. When we all had channels, that was another thing. When it was like, I need to buy another book. I need to make another video. I got to keep this content going. You know, that was a hard thing to keep up with too.
Wait, who is he talking to there?
That's the I forgot his name. The Asian kid from Good Life.
Yeah, what? I forget what the Asian kid. What was he? I can't remember. I remember all the main characters. I don't remember. Okay,
he was the main character too. He was like part of the main group. He was like kind of like hip hoppy kid from like Florida.
Yeah. The hip hoppy kid. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Now I remember.
He was the one that was like in heaven or whatever. He was married to the hot chick that was in the She-Hulk.
Yeah, the British woman that had the opulent lifestyle and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's a good fact is, keep an idea of what it is that you can actually read. You can't read everything. You don't need to read everything. Another thing that I've fallen into and we've all fallen into, double dipping.
Oh yeah.
I already have all the trade paperbacks for Gotham Academy, but then they came out with that all-in-one like compendium one. I want it, but I have it already. But I want it. I want it though because it's Gotham Academy. Nobody cares about that book but me.
I care about that. You convinced me to read it, and I love it.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where if you're going to double dip, you might as well just sell the other versions that you have.
I have a huge stack upstairs that I'm taking to Second and Charles, and I might give some away on like on a video. I might have give books away, but I constantly, if I'm upgrading, I'm going to definitely get rid of what I've of the smaller things. Now, that said, I will say I believe with Harley Quinn, some things I have quadruple dipped on, starting with the single issues. Then I get the hardcovers, then also the trade paperbacks. But then for some reason, I also get the best of, which I already own all that stuff, but I like
Mhm.
the cover for the Maid of Mischief thing, and it's on display over there. You can't really see it.
Yeah. No, I see it. Awesome.
Yeah, there it is. So I like it because it makes a good display. But yeah, no,
Guys, how did you not double dip on the Jeff Johns Flash omnibuses? What's wrong with you? You got the crappy ones with the weird binding.
I did, and then I got the extra Flash Jeff Johns omnibus. I've got 4 because the third one contains stuff that's not in the first 3.
Right.
So I have 4 of those, and somewhere is my Francis Maniple New 52 Flash. I can't. Where can it be though?
Here you go. Here's something here from good old NFL dude. Good rules keep your collection within your space, Jess.
It is.
Yeah.
If your shelves are overflowing and you've got books on the floor. Oh my God, that's a big one.
Books on the floor. Oh, is that bad?
I feel seen. I feel seen. Right
yeah,
now.
I've been called out.
Ooh, that's let's move on.
Yeah, I have stacks of shame. They started out as floor books, and now
what about when we all got the Akira box set, Jess, and you just had it on your floor where it's collecting dust? So that Halloween, you made an extra little example by putting fake cobwebs all over it.
Yeah.
That was another big hype thing. Was that Akira box set when that thing first dropped?
Well,
I still want
that. We got that because Amazon had it at $100, like a Prime there,
right?
And so, and that's when I was thinking, okay, I'm going to try and get into manga, but yeah, it sat on my floor until I finally sold it. But I think we all FOMO'd because of the price.
Because that was a $250 box set, right? Something like that.
Yeah, at least, because that was the whole thing in a really nice box. And they had it for like $99 for a long time. There it is. That's funny. You remember the fake cobwebs.
Because you had just stacks of stuff. Like, we've all been there. Like,
yeah.
When these shelves get filled, or not even just filled, but when you get like a new stack of stuff, organizing it on your shelf is a pain in the tuchus. Having to shift everything and try to make space and stuff like that, and you always mess up, and you're like, "Oh, this is the worst."
Yeah.
When you get a text or a phone call from your wife going, "Oh my God," I think it might be time to slow down.
Yeah.
That was me in 2017, where me and my best friend went to Cooperstown to the Hall of Fame. And I got a picture from my wife. In the hallway, there were 17 boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I've been there. My wife has sent, it wasn't 17 boxes, but she sent me pictures of our hallway or the doorway to our house, just covered in boxes of just whatever. eBay, Amazon, IST,
Yeah, the worst when they all land on the same day. Just for some, they all use different shipping methods: UPS, USPS, FedEx, and for some reason they all decide to land on the.
I've had days where it's like Amazon came to my house, a FedEx truck came to my house, the mailman came to my house. Everybody's visiting my house that
day. Yeah, that was. That picture put a bit of a damper on my trip home. I was like, oh, what am I driving home to?
Was in your mind, this is future Jess's problem. Current Jess's problem, that's not here. I'm at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'll deal with that when I get home.
Yeah, I pushed a lot of things off onto future Jess. Yeah. And he used to get extremely mad at past Jess. Yeah. Actually, here's a good question from Axel. The Alex Ross, because I remember both of you were both excited about this book, and I think for good reason. The Alex Ross Fantastic for a Full Circle story. Did you have FOMO for that?
Where's that comment? I saw it earlier.
8:31, 5:31 your time.
That's a little bit more.
but that, I mean, I would say I was excited for that book and I wanted to get it, because it was Alex Ross. But I don't know that I had FOMO, but I did splash out for the slipcase
Yeah.
thing.
I totally forgot about that book, and I was watching the show, and you guys showed the that there was a slipcase version that came out, and I was like, oh, I need that version immediately. Like it wasn't FOMO, but it was just like, I didn't know I needed to have that, but I needed to have that.
Yeah, well, you're also a huge Fantastic Four fan, so that makes sense.
True. Yeah.
He got snubbed. I need a shirt that says Alex Ross was snubbed. Full Circle was snubbed. But either way.
Does he really need it? I'm kind of wondering, maybe they just reached out to him and they went, Alex, come on. Like, we can give this to somebody else this year, right? Like, we know it's yours. Look, you open up your broom closet and the whole bunch of them are just going to fall out. Just pick one, you know?
Or I like this from Inman. I always like on videos when people say how long they've been collecting, what they collect, and what they do. I don't know about what they do for a living. That's nobody's business. But being transparent helps a lot. So that's one of those things where, again, in the Facebook group, when you see somebody who has like week after week or month after month, massive hauls, you know the other shoe is eventually going to drop, and that guy's going to start posting sales posts eventually. And because they're new to it, right? Like they just got in. I mean, people, I don't know what it is about this hobby in particular. I don't know if it affects all hobbies across the board, but this one in particular, I've seen where it's like, I'm in this hobby. I need to just get absolutely everything that's coming out and everything that has come out now. Like there is no staggering purchases, it feels like, for some people. But you see that a lot where they don't stagger out purchases and it's just massive hauls after massive hauls.
Just above that comment is Chris, who has a good FOMO.
FOMO is complicated. Even if you don't get to unseal a book for years, you have to buy it now so as not to miss out. I sold my Immortal Hulk hardcovers, the oversized hardcovers, and missed out, and Faithless slipcase as well.
Chris, are you saying you sold your hardcovers and didn't get the chance to buy the Hulk Omnibus?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Because I know it's getting restocked. I think both versions, or maybe at least the original cover, is getting restocked if it hasn't already gotten restocked.
Well, we've been there too, Jess. I know I can't think of particular situations where we've sold the versions we have now, hoping for the omnibus, and then it gets canceled.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or they solicit and say, yeah, this is coming out, and then the book never comes out, and it's canceled. Or
it comes out as a different version, like, oh, this is going to be an omnibus, John Byrne Superman, and now it's just standard hardcover.
Oh, yeah,
a compendium or whatever other format where you're like, I might as well just kept the hardcovers I had or something.
There was a period a few years ago where DC was notorious for that, where they solicit.
Yeah, I saw some posts on my Facebook history where I was talking about that, and it's like, hey, Burnside, Batgirl Burnside got canceled. This got canceled. That got canceled. Like it was just a massacre at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, DC was famous for that. But I don't know about the Faithless slipcase, Chris, but I got the Faithless without the slipcase. But I'm pretty sure you can, if I feel like it's maybe November or late October that it's going to get restocked. So you won't miss out on Hulk if you maybe you should pre-order or put a reminder out.
Next Imaginaut. I would also qualify this budgeting and curatorial wisdom with the persistent observation that more than 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, the thing one may want in the condition and the condition that might desire is unlikely presents itself again and at a feasible budgeting time if one just pays diligent attention to online retailers and third party. I kind of just keep an eye on the best deal of things. I get it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let me see. So on that topic of things, we'll get into some of these Facebook posts that we saw. Again, we're not here to judge people. Like, just kind of just keep this to the idea of these are just examples of what we've been talking about that affects all of us and the community itself. For instance, with this post on the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group, hey, with the newly released Phantom Stranger Omnibus and all the hype from certain YouTubers we know and love say about it, I, for one, want to almost buy it for the hype, and I'm not even a fan. The art is cool, but the writing's not my cup of tea. Most of the YouTubers that we like and watch on a daily basis, freaking on a daily basis, likes freaking just about everything that's released. I get it. Most get free books from these companies, but I would like to find that YouTuber that's honest, mostly buys their own books, and gives honest reviews.
Right here.
Do you all know anybody like this? Lastly, I admire all the YouTubers and what they do. They're awesome, but sometimes a little honesty would be nice. Thanks for reading and enjoy your new release day. So the point that what we're looking at here is falling into the hype of the Phantom Stranger Omnibus. He likes the art, doesn't like the writing, but the YouTubers he's watching is hyping it up to him, he feels like, as causing the kind of FOMO that book. And again, I don't know of any YouTubers out there who get free books other than Omar, and he's 100% transparent about it. But like I don't know of any other Omnibus Collector YouTube channels out there where anybody does get free books from like Marvel or DC and stuff like that. And Omar doesn't even get free books from DC, he told us. He gets PDFs.
Right. So, he said he uses his daughter's tuition.
That works.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while. To my knowledge, I can only think of, I'm not going to name names. I can only think of maybe one or two people that I would assume get free books. And that's about it. I think for the most part, everybody else out there is hoofing it that's into this hobby and is actually buying and spending their own hard-earned money for this stuff. There was a period a few years ago where we were sponsored by IST, and we still are. Love you guys. And they were giving us free books for reviews, and that was great. But we don't do that anymore.
And the thing is, I don't think we've ever really IST plug.
Take a shot, Elon.
Take a shot. Where we've ever really been like, why didn't you guys buy this book? You should buy this book. You got to buy this. You got to buy it. You got to buy it. We give our honest, personal, I need to buy this book. Like, I'm after this book. This is the book I want in my collection. And there are times, honestly, I say it, and I'm sure we all have, like, this is something that should be in your collection. Mm-hmm. But with that said, I think it's important for people to kind of understand their own limits too, and realize, that there is kind of, and we're not hype machining things to make things sell more, because we got no skin in the game on if a book sells or not. Like, we're sponsored by IST, but it has nothing to do with us driving sales to their website. Like, it's not like, oh, hey guys, you drove 500 people to our website. Here's, a payout. It's not like that. So we're not involved in that side of things whatsoever. But we do hype books up on to ourselves. I think if anything else, we're convincing ourselves to buy books too.
I will fully admit to hyping the heck out of the Black Cat Omnibus and insisting everybody get it. I know you don't. You can put the two.
You didn't get me, Jess. You didn't get me.
I know, but I definitely did tell everyone to buy it because I felt like it was an under the radar book that was my most pleasant surprise of last year when I read the trade. So I really wanted it to get an Omni, and that's something I sent the trades to Gio, and I think he and I are going to have a Black Cat review at some point. But I will admit that I did tell everybody they needed to buy it
But again, that's an honest, like the post said, he wants people to be honest. That's an honest like review or honest hype from you, where you're like, I love this. If you're into this, or if you're looking to something new to read, then yeah, check it out. But at no point have we ever been like, this book is coming out, you need to get it, as like a hype machine situation. It's always been like, I honestly like this book. I've read it, and if you're into this kind of stuff, you should get it too. I mean, we did Scalped not too long ago. We hyped the living crap out of that.
We did.
Not in an effort to try and force people to buy it, but just the fact of like, hey, this is a completely forgotten Jason Aaron story that people should check out because we loved it. That's different than just being like, these YouTubers get free books from these companies and that we're hyping it up because we're getting free books out of it. Like that's not honest, or at least his concept that these YouTubers are hyping things up and convincing them to buy stuff is not honest, where it's really just him probably just making excuses for his bad behavior.
Well, I did buy the Black Cat Omnibus with my own money. So
sure. There isn't a single book on our shelf that we haven't bought with our own money, I think. I mean, I might have a couple of still books from IST that we got back 4 years ago, maybe before pandemic, probably even 5 years ago. But it's all the stuff that we get. It's through our own budgets, our own income.
I think, I can kind of see where that individual is coming from, because he wants an unbiased opinion. But I think for the most part, all of us, if we're spending money on a book, I think it's because we've done our research on it or we've read it in the past. Because you got to remember, omnibuses are collected editions. Omnibuses aren't things that you get a 6-issue run and right off the bat it gets an omnibus. These are usually complete editions that have come out, and they've been out for a very long time in single issues and trade paperbacks or what have you. And most of the time it's material that we've read in the past or we've had some form of experience with it in the past. And look, we've all of us here have given our opinions on stuff that we've liked, we've enjoyed, and some things that we don't like and we don't enjoy that might not necessarily be the general consensus. We've all got books here that we're like, yeah, that didn't really hit with me. I get why everybody else liked it, but I wasn't feeling it. And I think that's fair. I think we all come at it from an approach of we want to like what we buy because nobody wants to drop $75 on a book and then go, shit, this was not good at all.
And at the same time, have we hyped up books that we just were interested in and never read before? ROM, Micronauts. That's just the excitement that these books are finally, after like 40 years, are getting a collected edition.
True.
And again, I've never told him. I don't think we were telling him, but you need to buy this. A lot of it is like, hey, you probably never read this before me, but I've always heard forever and ever and ever how great ROM is, how great Micronauts is. Here's my chance to read it now, because there's no other way to read it other than getting the single issues, which is super expensive after a while.
Yeah, with ROM, I can't remember if it was on this show or my own show, where I was just advising people if they really wanted ROM, they needed to. I don't think it's a disservice to people to tell them that if they want something, they better be there the first or second day, because it's going to sell out. Maybe it was on the Saturday show with the minister. I can't remember, but I mean, I was telling people, and I am telling people, I just think it's a caution that if you ROM and Micronauts are going to pull from not only, like the two of you guys who are interested in the material, but other fans too from other genres, toy collectors or something maybe. And there's there's been so much pent up demand for this. I don't know what the print run's going to be. I know there's 4 covers. But I don't think it's bad to tell people this thing's going to be hot. You better be there. I did that with Savage Avengers. I wasn't trying to hype it. I was just saying, this thing's going to be hot. You better be there the first or second day or you're going to miss it.
Right. Sure enough.
And that's coming from us from the days where it used to be like, yeah, if you didn't get it the first day or two, then you were having to pay cover price for it. You know, you can't, if it falls off of IST really fast or just sells out everywhere in general. IST, Amazon, like everybody would sell out of stuff immediately sometimes too.
Do you remember how quick those Shang-Chi books flew when they first came out?
Yeah. Or Conan.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with like, it's very similar to the Phantom Stranger, where Phantom Stranger's never had a collected edition before. It was solicited 3 years ago. So it was like 3 years of anticipation for it to come out. And that was kind of where the hype was coming from with that.
Has it been really 3 years?
Yeah, that thing got solicited in 2020.
Oh, right. I remember that. Yeah. And now we're finally getting goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
But then there's also things like you were saying, you know, stuff that you might be familiar with or that you might want to read.
Yeah.
And then things where like ROM and Micronauts is kind of slightly older are people who are, you know, my age, Lou's age, who read current comic books from, you know, maybe the 80s and the 90s going forward. Is that stuff from the 70s going to resonate enough with us where we're going to be like, oh, this is worth a purchase or not, right?
Yeah.
And that comes into the idea also with this post that I wanted to share. The reprint of the Iron Man Omnibus Volume 1. This was a whale book for a while. This is a whale book. What we here on this show consider a whale is something that's out of print and is selling like double cover price, if not more. Typically.
Yeah. So
with this post, again, this is Silver Age. This is deep Marvel Silver Age stuff. Everybody buy this. We need more Iron Man Omnis, and the best way to make it happen is to buy this. Okay, so now this is falling into a different type of hype machine where it's we need to buy something, even though you don't really like it, maybe, but you should buy it in anticipation that we can get volumes 2 and 3 and going forward.
I kind of, just real quick, I kind of find that interesting because it's not just this. It extends to almost all form of collections that have volumes and stuff like that. So let's kind of look at the Disney example with them releasing Prey, and now they just announced that they're doing Loki season 1 and they're doing WandaVision the first season in physical media. This is the first time we're getting all these things that were exclusively streaming. The buzz online is buy this. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. Buy this because that means that it'll show Disney that we have interest, and it would make them dig into their back catalog, which is a fuck ton of stuff because they have the Fox back catalog, and that means that they would actually have to release physical. They would show them we want physical formats for stuff like the original Planet of the Apes films and things like that because they own so much, but they're not releasing anything.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something that I know we've fallen into. I know Gio's fallen into this, where he buys everything everything Aquaman. Not everything, but he buys enough Aquaman stuff in hopes that pushes DC to release proper omnibuses of, you know, Aquaman runs that's never been printed before. Peter David stuff, things of that sort, right?
He also loves Aquaman.
He does, exactly, and that's why he's doing it, you know, but I don't really think that is any true indication. I don't think the publishers really see that and think that that's even a part of their like strategy. I don't think, you know, buying volume 1s absolutely means they're going to get a volume 2. There's a lot of times where things sell out and we never get a volume 2 or a volume 3 out of things. New Avengers, for instance, Brian Michael Bendis' New Avengers. That thing's been sold out for years. Never got a volume 2.
Well, that's a good example.
Right. I mean, that's always the one thing I always hype on, or that I harp on. Never buy something in anticipation of something else. But I'm falling into that because of the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern Compendium. That one that's coming out, I already have the trade paperbacks, and the compendium prints the same thing, and that's been abandoned. But I want to buy the compendium, even though I have the issues collected already, in hopes of a volume 2 and a volume 3. So I am kind of breaking my own rule. But again, we're all a part of this. You know, we all smell the same funk. Like, we all have the same shit that stinks with this type of situation, with these collecting mentalities that we all fall into.
Well, peace and love to whoever posted that, but I am not buying that book.
And then that brings this up. Sorry, let me bring that comment down real quick. This is a reply to that same post about buying the Iron Man omnibus. This person wrote, well, I have a first printing, but ordered a copy of this just to support the edition. So hopefully Iron Man will get the respect that Marvel is currently showing to the Silver Age lines. Way overdue for a volume 3. Now that's what I'm really kind of talking about, is he already has it. He's buying another copy in anticipation of that producing a second or third volume. Which I think he's just hurting himself. That's something that just...
Yeah. I'm glad
you're padding the numbers for no reason. You know, we've been told that these books are sitting on shelves a lot of times. The Silver Age stuff. They print low volumes of these, and they still sit on the shelves. So I don't know, you know, buying a second copy of a book you already have in hopes of getting more is helping the cause at all.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I mean, a lot of this stuff tends to sit, other than the more hyped up, you know,
or the popular characters,
right?
Modern popular characters.
Like, I don't know who decided to get 2 volumes of Power Pack, but hey, it happened.
Oh, that's right. Ultimate Spider-Man did had that volume 1 forever.
Yeah, that volume 2 didn't get released. Has it been released? Because they reprinted volume 1.
I think volume 2 has come out now.
Okay.
Was it 2 volumes of Power Pack? It was 2, right?
2, yeah.
And Geo can't get an Inhumans omnibus.
You're going to get some Power Pack lover hating you somewhere in the comments.
All 3 of them. Y'all can join each other, whatever.
There are dozens of us.
Yeah, all 3 of you. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, because I think as collectors, once you start going down that rabbit hole, you know, you get a volume 1, you kind of cross your fingers if it's something you really love, and you hope that it gets a volume 2. But it's not always a guarantee you get a volume 2.
It's not our job to convince them to make a volume 2.
Yeah,
it's a publisher's job to produce stuff that people want in order to be able to have a full line of this stuff happening. It's not our job. It's not our responsibility to overbuy this stuff to support it. It needs to live or die on its own merits.
Is that your Hey Arnold shirt?
Huh?
Is that your Hey Arnold shirt?
It is my Hey Arnold shirt.
I thought so. Nice.
I mean, I think there is something to be said, though, about voting with your wallet, though, right? I mean, if the companies see that, okay, this is selling really well, we've sold X amount of copies for a volume 1, who's to say it doesn't influence a volume 2, right? I mean, it's not a guarantee. It's never a guarantee.
Sure. Not a guarantee. You know, again, things sell out and we never get a volume 2.
Yeah. Starman.
Avengers, Ultimate Spider-Man. There's probably a lot of other things out there I just can't think of off the top of my head. But that doesn't always mean there's going to be... And again, it's not our job to keep buying these things, more copies of it, in order to get the next ones to come out. For what reason? Because then, if that does influence Marvel or DC or these companies to produce, to continue with the line, and they don't see that same kind of return on the second volume or the third volume, then you're axed out. Then it stops. It's the law of diminishing returns. Every new volume that comes out it's a decline of sales. It happens, because you got volume 1 doesn't mean you're going to buy volume 2 and volume 3.
So what was it? What's that series? Irredeemable. Didn't IDW put out these huge, beautiful premium editions for Irredeemable? And they put out, I think it was 1 volume.
It was
right?
one like absolute
edition. It was gorgeous. And you would think, sold out, we're gonna get a second volume of this. Never happened.
I own that.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of times I almost bought that thing myself, but I never saw a second one come out, and I was very like really fighting myself to not buy that thing. And then luckily the other hardcovers came out.
Those other...
Now that thing's all over the place. They had the little hardcovers, they had the compendium, they've had like a Kickstarter omnibus. So
is that oversized? The one that I was just talking about, the volume 1, is that the premium? Have they matched that?
It was like an absolute. It was a slipcase.
Yeah, it was the definitive edition, like the boys size type giant thing. And I feel like it had the first 12 issues maybe. Because I think that was right when I had really gotten into it. And then it became clear that volume 2 wasn't coming out at all. And I feel like I only sold it when the books Gabe is talking about, those really nice premiere editions, the oversized hardcovers came out, and those things sold out. Now those things sold out really fast. And that was pre-pandemic. That was like 2018. I feel like those premiere hardcovers sold out fast, and now they're and now they're I'm happy that they're making this as available as possible. This is my favorite book ever.
Unless it's an X-Men, because if it's an X-Men book, it's gonna get collected, and they're gonna put out another volume of it.
We need to. I think we need to do like a read of this together, like we did with Scalped.
Irredeemable?
Absolutely.
I'm happy to do that anytime.
It's so good.
Oh, yay! Yeah.
I'll say I never finished the series. I've never finished it. Something happened. I fell off of it and just never came back around. Not because I didn't like it. It was spoilers. The alien stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's where I stopped. Not because it was aliens or I didn't like it.
But that's where you stopped.
That's where I fell off. Yeah.
Yeah.
The book gets dark. That book.
Oh yeah.
It goes.
It's one of those great things where it just escalates. Every kind of thing escalates. We're like, oh, here's the way you kill the plutonium with this magical like candle or whatever. Nope, that didn't work. Now we got to do it this way. We got to do it that way. And he got his little friend is conspiring against him, and his mortal enemy is coming back to life. It just always escalated. And that's what I loved about that book. It was always like Invincible or Dragon Ball Z. It just raised the stakes all the time.
I'm downloading these tonight.
FOMO, we just convinced everybody to buy this now. Because we get it for free.
I can get, again, I was like you, Gabe. I fell off somewhere, and I always meant to come back to it because it was really good. The writing is so great on this. This is Mark Waid, and he goes for it here. If you know Mark Waid is like, he writes, classic superhero stuff, like good Superman stories and World's Finest. He taps into some dark stuff here. I think this might be the darkest thing he's written. Well, it's the darkest thing that I've read that he's written.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that compendium seems to be like in print all the time.
Yeah.
And man, I was so tempted to get those Omnis on that Kickstarter or whatever. But I know that Kickstarters, those things just end up in stores anyways. It'll probably show up on IST or somewhere else at a discount. And I already have the premiere hardcovers, and I think I'm good with those.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Tex. Savage Avengers isn't connecting with him. That's too bad. I love that book, but it doesn't connect with everybody. That's one thing I always try to make clear here and on my own show is that just because I like it doesn't mean you're going to, and just because you like it doesn't mean I'm going to.
Well, that's another thing to kind of consider. If you bought this book and hated it, how bad would you feel about that purchase? Marvel Unlimited is very cheap. There's other ways of reading these books for cheap or free online, where you can test it and see if you're going to enjoy it or not. I've been there. I bought omnibuses of stuff, and I go like 3-4 issues in. I go, this is absolute trash. And then I'm like, oh, well, now I'm out $75. Let me see if I can, flip this on eBay or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a perfect example. You could think about it. You could spend $10 a month. You could sample something and you go, well, this isn't for me. Or you can drop $75 and I need to resell this. I need to flip this quick.
So apparently the Kickstarter is oversized hardcover.
It's not an oversized. The Kickstarter.
This is I don't like. I'm not. Oh, wait.
It's not. It's
not. Okay.
Yeah. That seems to be what's going on with some of those Kickstarters. Is they're not oversized.
So is it just like standard size hardcover then?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what the 6-gun Kickstarter was.
That was another one I almost jumped on because I love 6-gun, but
yeah,
I have the slipcases, or not the slipcases, just the oversized hardcovers. Actually, I'm missing volume 4. I gotta get volume 4. Cool.
What, Mr. Tex passed on Black Cat? You're dead to me now.
Hoopla, Dr. Elevator. That's another one.
Oh yeah,
you
that's
get
right.
that through your local library, right? So, next Imagine Not. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Have a good one.
Good night, bud.
What was his proposal? A future what? Orphan?
Orphan series trade paperbacks.
I can talk at length about. We could definitely have a show on things that got orphaned.
Burnside Batgirl before the Omnibus. I liked those hardcovers that were coming out. And they did like a hardcover and then went into trades.
Oh, same with Dr. Aphra. Same with Unwritten. Unwritten just got flat out.
Oh my God. See, that's another one where I don't know. I want to get the compendium, but I don't know if it's going to continue, right? Because that's the same thing that happened with the oversized hardcover, right? Only volume 1 came out.
Yeah.
And it's donezo.
And that's never been a amazingly popular series, despite the fact that I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it. It's never been a series that has caught fire,
Right. And then how about this too? Then we go. Don't compare your collection to anybody else's. There's none of that. You don't have to keep up with Omnidog or keep up with the Joneses. Like that's a dangerous hole to fall into. Yeah. You don't need to impress anybody with your collection. Let it grow naturally. Let it be something that you're affectionate to, because you're spending a lot of money on it. You're taking up a lot of space in your house with it. Because Omnidog got that definitive irredeemable doesn't mean you need to get that definitive irredeemable. Nobody needs to get that thing.
Trying to keep
up around anymore.
Trying to keep up is a quick way to just have a house full of books, or living in a house made out of books.
Yeah. Or to turn around and be like, all right, I gotta start selling all of this stuff.
Oh my God, how many times have we seen that?
It happens.
Yeah.
And it's not always a negative thing, like, oh, I bought too much. I've sold stuff recently because my dog got sick, and vet bills are not cheap.
No,
and I'm lucky I have this stuff that I can just get rid of and get a couple of $100 here and
there. Freddie has an interesting question at 8:51, 5:51 your time.
I gotta get my DeLorean to time travel that far back.
I went to the bottom and scrolled back up because I missed
Freddie Alonso just talked to a lot of collectors in the 90s. Was that get everything mentally common across the hobbies?
Mentality common across the hobbies. You know what?
Get everything mentally. Okay, I see what you mean.
I feel like it was more about single issues back then. People wanted full runs of books, but I feel like things have changed now with the internet and with collected editions now. Because in the 90s, I remember there was also, besides buying regular comics, there was also like real speculator fever going on at that time too. Which that's the only thing I remember about maybe that mentality, except that's speculators, and you should never speculate on collected editions because you never know when they're going to get reprinted now.
And that tanks your value on those books immediately.
Yeah. But I feel like in the 90s, it was more about just wanting full runs and hunting for books. I remember hunting down all these Silver Age Flash books that I ended up selling in 2020 because now I have them in omnibus format, but that was the only way I could read them, was finding these, 1960s, 1950s Flash books that I wanted. They weren't getting reprinted, and if you wanted to read them, you had to buy them. And that was not necessarily cheap. So that's really about the only thing I can think of. I can't remember the God Have Anything except with the speculator boom and crash.
I think he's talking about when you used to interview people. But yeah.
Oh, I mean, like in people in Collector Showcase. That. Okay, now let me shift my brain. Yeah, I would see that. I would because I had all those shows with all those different people with their different collectibles, and there was there definitely was a feeling that I got from almost all those collectors is they were always on the hunt for something else to fill either a gap in their collection, or they found out about something that they didn't have and they felt they needed it. So yeah, that's a good question, Freddie. That was there definitely was that kind of gotta get it, but there was also
gotta get them all is what it was back then. But nowadays it's all about like key issues. Everybody just goes for that single key issue of a run or issues, right? I remember when people used to, and when I was younger, everybody had a list and people were just checking off the list of the things that they're missing, that they had gaps in their collection. Now it's like, well, I don't want all the X-Men's. I just want issue 25 because that's where Wolverine gets his adamantium pulled out or whatever. And it's not, they don't get the full stories. They just get the quote unquote more meaningful issues of the stories.
It's a badass moment though.
It is.
It's really badass moment. Guys, I gotta bow out. If you guys want to stay on, please do so. But I gotta.
All right, but
okay. Thanks, Lou.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace and love. But I did notice and I had all kinds of collectors on that show, but they were always hunting for more at like flea markets and garage sales and things like that, because on the online community didn't exist yet then. And they would be opening up the newspaper to look in the classifieds, like huge flea market, or there'd be a toy show, or there'd be
garage sales, estate sales.
Exactly, yeah. And you'd see in the classifieds is where you would see where your local comic book show was going to be, or your local toy show, something like that. And that's where those guys would always head for. So, it's funny being a collector. We collect things, so no matter what you collect, you've sort of got that bug in your head of not being satisfied. I'm not going to make a blanket statement and say everybody's like this, but I feel like if you're maybe a hardcore collector, you're always collecting.
Mm-hmm.
You're always looking for something else. You're always wanting to complete your collection.
There's always a next get. There's always
Yeah.
that next dopamine
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's one from Chris. Interesting space management flash fact. My Grant Morrison Batman singles take up a long box, which is 25 by 11. The Grant Morrison Batman omnibuses fit on a 5 by 11 shelf.
Yeah, and I'm not judging you for having both. I understand that. I do that with Harley too.
I got a lot of stuff where I got the singles, I got the trade, I got the hardcover. It's just,
yeah, no judgment from me.
We've all been there.
There's a lot of good comments.
Yeah, I'm a seismith. I always get jealous of people who like find stuff. I never find anything good at garage sales or like flea markets or swap meets or anything like that. Ever.
Bell bottoms and shag carpeting. Who's selling shag carpeting? That's hilarious. Okay, Lionheart did buy Black Cat. Good. I hope you enjoy it.
Justin's so on that Black Cat train.
I know, and I take responsibility for it. Oh, I got a compliment from Jetty Tie at 901. So thank you, Jetty Tie. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed that. That's gotten a lot of views. I should do. Well, are they rebooting again now to Dawn of DC? Is that another reboot?
I don't know if it's a reboot. I think it's just one of those like, here's our next initiative. I don't know if they're resetting the universe because I don't think it's another crisis event. Maybe I'm wrong, but
it's not another New 52 or Rebirth.
I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Tex's copy of Iron Man got shipped today. When was Iron Man last week?
That was this week.
Oh, it was this week.
It was this week, yeah.
Okay.
Had 3 covers.
I think the original one did too. I remember there was that movie cover that never sold very well. Gabe, my next haul coming this Monday. Oh, 908 Lionheart's talking to you.
908.
Lionheart, the king of Street Fighter.
He hasn't fought Omar yet, so you can't declare that.
He's going to go to Omar's house, I think.
Gabe, my next haul coming this Monday is Iron Man Volume 1 reprint, Dr. Aphra Volume 2, and Phantom Stranger. I'm interested now because this is Phantom Stranger stuff. If people who get it enjoy it, I hope everybody does.
I hope so too. It's not a guarantee. I know I will because I grew up with it, and I like they're starting out in the 50s with it. So when he first appeared, and then
it's such a strange cover though on that omnibus. It doesn't even show him on it really.
It shows isn't his shadow in the background? It's just
a shadow. Perfect. Okay. That's gonna make me buy a book. I didn't mean the shadow of Spider-Man.
But I feel like that's sort of his persona, that he's supposed to be lurking in the background. Sometimes he interferes, and sometimes he's just like the watcher where he observes. But I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. We had a lot of viewers on this. This is great. We were up to 60.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Really good on for a Wednesday show.
Chris says he'd love a darkest books ever written from you guys. Whole.
A shadow. I'll give you 5 copies. Cleveland Brown knows what's up. You gotta buy all 5 copies so we get a volume 2.
There was Elon, so we said IST several times already. You should be having a few shots. That's an interesting one. A darkest books ever. Elon, did he send you his copy of Goiter? That's something I gotta sit down and read, is all those goiters that Cycle sent me. But I'd love to talk about darkest books ever written.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Do I got a sticky note here? Maybe I'll make a. Where's my sticky notes? Make a little list. Because I think these topic ideas are good for us. You know, doing these topic
and next to
Never
Mad it's about our favorite orphaned issues.
Somebody in the chat said their favorite orphan comic was Batman.
N-Man 40, is it up to Mark Wade if it's an OHC? Mark doesn't have anything to do with it. He probably didn't even know it was happening, to be honest with you. A lot of times,
which is funny because he used to be like the editor-in-chief of Boom for like a hot minute.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's full-time humanoids for the US now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times these creators don't even know when something's getting published. Oh, wait, shout out? Am I getting a shout out? Shout out to Jess. He makes me so happy to listen to his recommendations and reviews. AS, thank you for the compliment. Yes, that gives me the juice to survive. Thank you.
There we go.
Oh.
Right on my cold dead hands.
Chris has a good suggestion at 9:21. Chris Kaufman does. Right under the favorite orphan series for roguish type.
9:21. There's my favorite orphan series is Batman. And then our boy Chris, one suggestion I have that everyone here would know is to get these books early at in-stock at an in-stock trades discount. Full price on Omnibus is a strategic collecting failure. I mean, that's how I do it. You know, when I do the ad, it's, hey, don't pay full price for your Omnibus. Just go to IST, you know, because it's $150, $125 for these books now.
And not everybody can afford to do it that day. But then my only advice then is, if you can't afford, if there's a book you really want, but payday's on a Friday and the book's up on a Tuesday, that's where budgeting and also a site like comicreleases.com comes in to play, or maybe DCBS for pre-ordering. But at some point, if you're scanning the list and you see that book that you really want, it doesn't hurt to make a list of like the top 10 books you want and try to budget for them, so you're not stressed that the book comes out on a Tuesday and you're getting paid on a Friday. I understand that not everybody can buy it that day, and I know what Chris is saying is right. We don't want to pay full price because these things are getting more expensive every day. But look at comicreleases.com. Every month I do a video with Webhead, and he is constantly updating that site. So I would say look at that site for the months ahead and really try to find the 2 or 3 books that you most want if you have to budget for it.
00711. Gabe, how the heck do you store your artist editions? Those things are big and heavy. Here, let me show you.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see your collection of those.
I have them on this bottom shelf here.
Oh, the ones that are sticking out?
Well, those are the bigger ones. Look, there's Spider-Man.
Okay.
Jim Lee. Yeah, so I got them on this different shelf because they don't fit in a Kallax.
Okay.
All. Yeah.
What's the Jim Lee thing?
This is Jim Lee artist edition of his DC stuff.
Whoa. I didn't even know that existed. Oh man.
And because it's me and I always got this. I got a little Jim Lee sketch in it.
Oh man, yeah, all your signed books are so cool. Nice.
And then Jim Lee X-Men.
Ooh.
So yeah, I got a different shelf here for him.
Also, that's a great name, 00711. True Graphic. Hey, Jess, are we ever going to get a collection update and or favorite horror graphic novels video from you? Eventually, True Graphic. What I'm working on now is my favorite occult witches. What am I trying to think of? Witches and occult type books, not horror books, but things that involve magic and occult, magic/occult books. That's what I'm working on now, and then I can return to do more horror. Thank you for asking.
Where are you at on the comments? I can highlight them too.
Sorry?
Where are you at on the comments?
925.
Okay.
Did they have Omnibus back in the 90s at 925 roguish types? Yeah, Matt, it was Masterworks and DC Archives and Trades.
That was like the late 90s too. It was very sporadic. Like it wasn't like every single thing like it is today. I think the first Omnibus was what?
2008.
That Barnes and Noble Ultimate Spider-Man?
Oh, I thought it was Fantastic Four #1. Somewhere.
That might have been the first official what it was called Omnibus. I forgot what it was called. That Ultimate Spider-Man one when that first came out.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I have a huge bone to pick with DC and their archives.
Here's an idea. Keep to a certain number of shelves. Then once they're filled, then you do a 1-in, 1-out policy.
That's a good idea. Pogs. Oh, there's Samantha Jane. What up, Samantha?
Yeah, she has that Pokemon mentality going on.
Larry left 15 minutes ago. Good night, Larry. Elon at 929. That's a good question. Is the chase more fun than getting the item itself? With the collector mentality, the chase is such a huge part of it. Such a huge part of it. When I was collecting those Flash and Mystery in Space back in the 80s and 90s because I wanted the Carmine Infantino art, it was always really exciting to hunt those down.
I always like it when you're hunting something you don't really. It's not even that you're actively hunting for it, because I think we all do that thing where something comes out, you can't find it. You check this website, you check that website, this website, you check eBay. And then like later down the road, you're at like some random comic book store and there it is. And it just magically lights up. And you're like, oh my God, it's really here? Like, no way.
Yeah.
That's one of the best feelings, I think.
Yeah. Cleveland Brown has a good point at 931. Getting his dopamine.
I'm guilty of my addiction for dopamine hits. When I hear an Omni or Absolute or hardcover has been sold out for a while and I have it, I get that hit. Yeah, that's always good. That happens. That's happened to me on the show plenty of times. I'm like, hey, here's this book I want to talk about. And everybody in the chat's like, that thing's so hard to find. Like, it's out of print. That's always fun to happen too.
Oh, okay. So that's where he gets his dopamine hit because he owns it already.
Well, that's a dopamine hit that he gets.
Okay. Yeah.
That's always fun too. You're like, really? This thing's expensive? Like what? And you look it up on eBay. You're like, holy crap! Wow, interesting.
Okay, Dawn of DC, just a new initiative. AS
Cool.
like Black Cat. Yes. They did reset a lot in Dawn of DC, but not like an actual reboot.
There you go from NFL Dude. Faust is getting a reprint late this year. Perfect topic. That's for like the dark, nasty book stuff.
What is that book?
I thought we brought it up on the show before. It's
maybe we did.
Yeah, I've never read it, but I know I've flipped through it before. I've looked it up online on the show once before for what I can show. It's very like gore porn, I guess you can call it.
Oh,
like gory just for the sake of being gory and nasty. Like it's more than Crossed.
Whoa.
Or it's in that same realm of Crossed.
Oh, all right. Daniel says at 9:34, Jess, 2 new Bond books this month. I think I got one of them because it was pre-ordered years ago from DCBS, but I just saw a new one also, Daniel, that I wasn't familiar with the writer, but all those 007 books have been so great. I may just go ahead and get it. That would be a blind buy because the other ones were from name writers. Faust is getting... See, he is Lionheart at 9:34. He is going to Omar's house.
Oh, so Barney that was in the chat just hit me up. He said, "Great show, man. That's the first time I've been able to tune in for a long period of time. You do a very good job keeping things engaged. I'll be trying to tune in more for sure." So that's perfect, man. Thank you, Barney. If you ever see this again, that's fun.
That's great.
I don't know about you, Jess. I'm ready to wind this down. It's been an hour and a half. Big guy.
Okay. Let me just say, Daniel, I will go into my Discord to check out your collection. I'll do that right after the show. Thank you for saying that. Not to FOMO anyone.
Where you at? Just let me highlight this stuff.
Let's see. Daniel was at 9:36, so 20 minutes ago or so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you put your whole collection in there. Okay. Goose. Okay. I will check that out.
Remember when we used to do the where people would send us pictures of their collections and we'd put them up and we talked about them?
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. But we got overloaded, dude. There was so many emails for that.
I have not read Thistlebone, but I think Super Laugh Hard sent it to me, Elon. That's at 9:40. I feel like Thistlebone was sent to me by 007. I saw that right below. I feel like Super Laugh Hard may have sent me Thistlebone. I need to get all the books he sent me together in a shelf because they're spread apart. Okay, Occult and Magic. Good. Yeah, I'm up for that. I'm way up for that.
Thanks for the shout out, 007. Yeah, he's gotta get bigger shelves for those things.
How many artist editions do you have?
Oh, Jesus. 11?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And those are another ones where it's like, wow, these things are super expensive when you look at them now, like some of these ones I have.
True Graphic at 9:45. I own Hexware. I just got it. That's a candidate for the occult/magic video. And I've been putting all the new magic occult books together on a shelf over in the other room. So I'm going to gonna read that and review it with I'm sure it's gonna be a 2-part video because I have so many because I love that genre. But yeah, I like Tim Seeley too, so I'm looking forward to that.
AS real quick. What's the best way to sell books? I have disappointing reception at my LCS with collected editions. You're gonna just go the eBay route. That's probably gonna be the best bet. LCSs, they will only buy that stuff in bulk and will give you bulk pricing for it, like dollars on each book, more or less, because they have to store it. They don't know that stuff's going to sell. Like they take a lot of risk on those books.
I would say eBay too. Okay, good, True Graphic. I'm glad that you thought it was interesting. That's a good sign. I have both a magic shelf and a magic shelf, Roguish Type. That's the last comment.
Everybody's going night right now at that time. Good night. Good night. Thank you, Jetty.
Yeah, good to see you, Jetty.
Yeah, thanks so much, everybody, man. Like, leave a thumbs up if this is your first time here. Hit that sub. Share this. I think this is a really fun topic. We really got into some stuff, and I'm glad nobody felt like we were being mean about collectors or anything like that. Like, we were really on the idea that we all do this too. Like, we've been there. We've had the experience, especially with this collected edition stuff. Like, my collection goes back like 12 years or more, like with these collected editions. So we've all been there. We've all seen it happen. We've all done it. We've all, evolved from it, and we know how to recognize it too. So
yeah, we weren't calling out anybody. They were just talking points.
Yeah, they were just good examples of what these collecting tips that the minister put up. So
yeah.
All right. So Jess, where can everybody find you at?
Did I do the second IST plug?
I don't think so. Let's knock that out.
Okay, InStockTrades.com, where you can get all your collected editions from 30 up to 65% off in the red tag sale area. Don't forget your 2% loyalty discount. Last Monday of every month, we give away a $50 gift card courtesy of InStockTrades.com. $50 or more in an order gets you free shipping in the USA. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. And you can find me on OmniDogs Vault on YouTube, OmniDogs_Vault Instagram. And I have a Discord that I need to visit after this so I can see Daniel's collection.
Nice. Everybody can find me on Instagram, Gabe Loves 90s Comics, Omnibroslive on Instagram, Omnibroslive on TikTok. We were putting up some videos on there. Here's Jess's Discord.
Oh, thanks, James. I didn't even know you were still here. Thank you.
InStock Trades, thumbs up to them.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, I hope everybody has a great night. Tomorrow, for all the manga people, we got Riley and Gio doing manga. And then we'll all be back on Monday, ironically, to talk about hauls, reads, and stuff to buy, which will be the new releases for the week as well. So we'll see everybody then.
Peace and love.